Hi there, fellow geography nerds. You might think you know all there is to know about the obscure territories and protectorates that fall under the jurisdiction of the United States. But don't get too cocky just yet. There are still some hidden gems out there that even the biggest geography buffs overlook. Stick with me as I peel back the curtain on the forgotten American outposts that time seems to have left behind. We'll venture to the far-flung islands and uninhabited atolls that most maps don't even bother labeling. I'll be your guide to the unknown pockets of America that you never realized existed. By the end, your knowledge of U.S. territories will be expanded, and your inner geography nerd will be squealing with delight. Let the unveiling begin. And we'll start by exploring the unique cultures of America's Pacific Island territories. Have you ever wondered about those little dots on the map that say U.S. territory? Turns out Uncle Sam owns a few tropical paradises in the Pacific and Caribbean that most Americans couldn't find on a map. Being an American means inheriting a motley crew of distant cousins. Turns out, Uncle Sam has a few secret love children scattered around the Pacific that most of us have never heard of. Take American Samoa. A collection of volcanic islands straight out of a South Pacific postcard. The locals still live in traditional villages, pound taro, weave baskets, and belt out harmonies like there's no tomorrow. They're also hardcore American patriots, sending more recruits per capita to the U.S. military than any other territory. Talk about ironic. They are the only U.S. territory located below the equator. It's a remote volcanic wonderland of rainforests, beaches, and the highest sea cliffs in the world. The native Samoans still live traditionally, gathering breadfruit, fishing, and pounding kava like their ancestors. Yet they also love American football, wear jeans, and hoist the stars and stripes. Then there are the Northern Mariana Islands, a Micronesian paradise, where Magellan first dropped anchor in 1521. After centuries of Spanish rule, the U.S. took over following the Spanish-American War. These days, the islands are a funky fusion of cultures, with locals chowing down on red rice, pancit, and barbecue, while jamming to reggaeton on their way to mass. Take Puerto Rico, for example. PR has been a U.S. territory since we snatched it from Spain in 1898, yet most Americans don't realize Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. The political status of PR is complicated. They can't vote for U.S. president, but they do have their own constitution. PR's economy is shaky, and their population is dropping, so maybe statehood is in the cards if Congress ever gets around to it. Then there's Guam, a tiny island in the Pacific that's home to major U.S. military bases. The U.S. took control of Guam the same way we got PR, by defeating Spain in the Spanish-American War. The people of Guam are U.S. nationals, but not citizens. Their economy depends on the U.S. military and tourism, since Guam's a tropical paradise. During World War II, Japan invaded Guam at the same time as Pearl Harbor. Bet your history teacher never mentioned that. The U.S. Virgin Islands are a Caribbean vacation spot for 3 million tourists a year. Like Guam, the USVI depend on tourism and the U.S. military. The USVI were once owned by, you guessed it, Spain, until we bought them in 1917. The USVI are organized but unincorporated territories, meaning Congress oversees them, but they govern themselves. How's that for some obscure geographical trivia? The next time you're planning a tropical beach getaway, consider visiting America's own little paradises in the Pacific and Caribbean. Just don't forget to pack your U.S. passport. You're going to need it. America's Pacific paradises may be out of sight, but they're still part of the family. They're a living reminder that the U.S. isn't just a melting pot. It's a vibrant tropical cocktail of diversity from sea to shining sea. Bottoms up. Now let's get into frequently asked questions about the Pacific U.S. territories. Why does the U.S. have territories? Somehow the U.S. ended up with a bunch of tropical islands in the Pacific that we claimed after the Spanish-American War. I guess we really wanted to build our empire and thought warm, exotic destinations sounded appealing. Now we're stuck with them. Just kidding. Kind of. The territories are complex, with some wanting statehood while others prefer self-governance. It's complicated. Do people born in U.S. territories have U.S. citizenship? If you popped out of your mom in American Samoa, Guam, Puerto Rico, or the US Virgin Islands, congrats, you're a US national. But you're not technically a citizen. You can't vote for US president and have limited constitutional rights. However, as a national, you can live and work in the States freely. Quite the paradox, isn't it? The Northern Mariana Islands are different. People born there do receive US citizenship. Like I said, it's complicated. Do you need a passport to visit US territories? Nope. US territories are as easy to visit as any state. No passport required for US citizens. Just hop on a plane, and in a few hours you'll be basking in the sunshine of a tropical paradise, piña colada in hand. The currency is even the US dollar. No need to bother exchanging currency or any of that nonsense. Paradise on a budget. What could be better? Are taxes lower in US territories? One perk of the territories is residents often pay little to no federal income tax. However, they also don't get representation in Congress, so there's that. Some territories like Puerto Rico have their own tax system, with rates similar to the states. The US Virgin Islands are a popular tax haven for the wealthy and corporations. They offer lucrative tax incentives and exemptions that make incorporating there appealing. Must be nice. And there you have it, folks. The secret forgotten territories that Uncle Sam would prefer you never knew about. Sure, they may just be uninhabited rocks in the middle of nowhere, but that doesn't mean we can't spin some wild conspiracy theories about what's really going on there. Just don't go booking any tours to visit these hidden lands, unless you want a one-way ticket to a CIA black site. But hey, ignorance is bliss, right? So just relax, crack open a cold one, and thank your lucky stars you live in the good old contiguous USA. At least here they have the decency to hide the shady stuff behind closed doors in Washington. All right, enough rabble-rousing for one day. Time to go wave my flag and grill some burgers. Stay woke, my friends.